Poland was once home to about 3.5 million Jews. It was the hub of the world Jewish population. Nowadays, the community here numbers about 7,000. JN1 has been granted an exclusive interview with the Israeli ambassador to Poland, Zvi Rav-Ner. I asked the ambassador how he thought the Arab Spring has affected global perceptions of Israel, and in light of this, what he feels about organizations which seek to boycott the Jewish state.
There was a hope. Indeed, this is why it was called the Arab Spring. Honestly, as far as Israel is concerned, we would have hoped that really after that movement, mass movement, that Israel will not remain the only one democracy in the Middle East. Unfortunately, I'm saying, we still remain the only one democracy in the Middle East. Israel is not perfect, but Israel is not less perfect than any other democracy in the West, including everywhere, in Europe and the United States. I mean, all democracies are imperfect. But to boycott the only one democracy in the Middle East, a democracy that is struggling with difficult situations, with terror campaign, that's not easy for a democracy to tackle the issue of terrorism.
But is there a danger that Israel is losing the information war for hearts and minds?
Unfortunately, yes, I do agree with the premises of your question. But you have to understand that there are very powerful powers, I mean so-called information powers, especially here in Europe, which are doing their utmost in order to discredit Israel as much as possible.
Zvi Rav-Ner, who was born in Poland, emigrating with his family as a young boy during the country's communist era, is coming to the end of his posting here and will be heading back to Jerusalem next year. In addition to fostering diplomatic links between Israel and Poland, he's had to confront a range of cultural issues, some of which deeply affect Poland's small but steadfast Jewish community. Poland has recently taken quite an extreme step in banning kosher and halal ritual slaughter. What role can Israel play in protecting the rights of Jews living in Poland to practice their religion freely?
It's a great pity that it took place because, after all, the government wanted to arrange the whole thing legally, but it was surprisingly defeated in the House, in the Parliament. And that's a pity, that's a pity. I'm not sure that the only one reason was just for those who voted against the shechita, against the ritual, Jewish ritual slaughter. By the way, not just Jewish ritual slaughter, it's the Muslim and the Jewish together. We are together in it this time. So I'm not sure, I'm not convinced that it's only a matter of the animal rights question here. There is more to it. Where is it now? It's in the Constitutional Tribunal, and I hope that justice will prevail eventually.
So, what do you think the role of any Jewish person living in Poland is today? I mean, would you encourage Jewish people, to come and live in Poland?
Obviously, I encourage Jewish people to live only in Israel, but this is not the question. I think that it's important that there is a Jewish community here. I think it's important both for the Jews, for the sake of the memory of those millions who perished in the Holocaust here, as well as for the Poles, that history of almost 1,000 years of Judaism in this country has still a memory here, a living memory, not only historical memory. And from this point of view, it's very important that there are Jews here, and of course, Jews are quite welcome here in Poland today, I think. What used to be will not return. There will not be the dimensions of Judaism of before the war. But what is here, however little, small it is important. And one can understand why those Polish Jews remain here in Poland and represent this Judaism that was so much thriving here, or trying to have it thriving again, because it was so great and so important for 900 years. This is the role of the Jewish community here, and I think this is a role that is very much being appreciated also by the Polish people, and that's important.
Zvi Rav-Ner thinks it's unlikely that Poland's Jewish community will ever recover to the size it was before the Holocaust. But Israel's diplomatic presence here will remain deeply important both for Poland and for future generations of Jewish people living in or visiting this country. This is Patrick Evans for JN1 in Warsaw.